Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to Lime Rock Park for the FRP Racing Series. I'm Austin Knight. I am joined by Andrew Woodhouse, and the production is brought to y'all by Frederick Nixel. And here we are at Classic Lime Rock, and it's a great day here in America. Andrew, how you feeling?
Yeah, very good, Austin. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah, everybody, welcome, Lime Rock Park. We were here the other day for the karting, the adrenaline karting race, and well, that was a very eventful race, Austin, with single seaters. Much faster though. It was the IndyCar that time. Today it's the Skip Barber. A lot less power, a lot more sliding, and we should see a really fun race tonight. Well, two races in fact.
Yeah, two races. Got 20-minute qualifying. We just hopped in right about 5 minutes after YouTube decided to be a bit thick with us. But hey, we're good. And first race, 40 minutes, and then we have a feature race of an hour long. So it's going to get pretty exciting here today at Lime Rock Park. Skip Barbers of Lime Rock, a classic combo because of the Skip Barber Racing School. Pretty much started here at Lime Rock Park. So these cars are one in the same with each other.
Yeah, and means the driver makes the difference, of course. And many of these drivers have real world experience, and yeah, some fairly big names in the field tonight.
Yeah, if there are some fans of the FR America series, we know a few. Um, we know a few familiar names. Dario Cangelosi, to name one of them. Zachary Rivard um, is another one. Simon Sykes is also in here, and any fans of the W series, Megan Geiks is also in here as well. Just to
Yeah,
name
and
a few.
yeah, W Series big success in its first season. Interested to see how Megan gets on tonight. Um, but about the track, mostly right-handed, just the one left-hand turn here, so it's gonna punish the outside tires obviously a lot more. So drivers might have to keep that in mind. Also, the racing's going to be very close. We can see on the timing tower, Austin, that half a second only covers the top 10, and that means that it's going to be a scramble on the first few laps.
Definitely, as it's going to be a lot of following and some very crazy dives heading into turn one after a great run out of Sam Posey Straight, because Lime Rock Park, not the best track for
Oh,
overtaking,
big
as we
crash,
got a
massive one,
massive crash.
massive crash. That's 4 cars involved at the last corner,
Oh, there's just wheels spreading all over
and
the place.
they were following very closely, Austin, through the final corner. And then I don't know if someone went wide or what. It'd be good to see a replay of that. But the yeah, absolutely gigantic one in
Yeah,
qualifying of all
definitely.
places.
Yeah, qualifying. Hey, you know what they say? Go all out in qualifying, because that's what's going to give you the pole position, especially on a track that you can't really pass on. Um, I've raced here in real life, and I can tell you it's hard to pass here. But if you play your mind games right, it works out pretty well.
They were obviously jockeying for position massively. We're going to see it on the screen here. Looking at Dario Cangelosi then, and he's following.
There
Oh,
was
and
a car
somebody
that
goes
came off
wide in
track, and
front.
then boom.
Oh, that's nasty. I'm not sure who that was in the dark blue car, but wow, they got absolutely walloped.
Thor's hammer came down
Cangelosi,
and
he was
pretty
trying to.
much.
Sorry, he was right under the rear wing of the car in front to try and get as much slipstream as he could. It's vital in this car, and as a result, look, he's in 8th place. Everyone else improved.
Yeah, he's got to warm up his tires to get it. He's got 20 minutes to put it down a lap. And Max Esterson sitting up on pole with Reese Everard sitting next to him. But what a lap by Esterson. We're going to see a 56 sub 57 lap here.
It's very possible. Everybody's going quicker all the time. Cangelosi again is on our screen. 8th place, half a second off the pole position at the moment. Yeah, 1.8 tenths for Esterson. In a field of identical cars. It's quite a big margin over a 57-second lap. And into third place goes Colin Mullen, so good improvement for him. Kyle August in fourth. Eric Filgueras is in fifth place as Esterson negotiates some traffic. Look at him sliding the car around. It looks like a really, really fun car to drive out there.
It definitely is. These cars, I call them the Eurobeat cars because to drive them, you have to force your way around with them sometimes. And to really get them to turn, you have to kind of kick the back end out. Kind of like you drive on dirt, really. But these cars, they are slidey around here.
Oh, a
Sometimes a
contact.
little bit too slidey.
Yeah,
As that's Kangalosi off.
not having a not having a great time of it in qualifying. Palacio, Nicholas Palacio, goes up to 18th place, personal best lap for him.
Speaking of track and sliding, let's check out the weather conditions because sometimes the track temperature will also play a factor here at Lime Rock Park. Um, because if the temperature is just over a cool 90 degrees here on track, so it's going to be a bit grippier on track, 76 degrees in the air. We'll see if that changes out because it is 11 a.m. in the morning here at Lime Rock Park over this 2-hour session. It is going at a, I would say that's a 2 times pace a day, so expect that track temperature to jump up just a bit.
Yeah, it should ramp up as they reach the midday sun. Terrific track though, this. It's one that does get overlooked quite a lot, and it is quite fairly hard to race on. But as a driving track in the right car, it can be very, very good indeed. As Kyle August goes up into second position with the fastest sector 3 out of anybody. And Esterson does dip into the 56s look, 56.942, so increasing that advantage by another half tenth.
And one thing is having a great qualifying time here. The other thing is having a good start of the race here. And then another thing is navigating through traffic as well. Anyone who's raced the IMSA races around here can tell you that race is scary because it becomes such a packed track when there's just about 30 cars here on the grid. We have 25 here today with us, but they're all in the same car, but cars driving at different paces can make this a very, very occupied track and very scary at sometimes.
Yeah, I've seen that one on the TV. I remember the American Le Mans series came here as well, maybe about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, and that looked a little bit mental. You had to question your sanity to be involved in that one, I think. We had, like I say, I even commentated on an IndyCar race here just last week with Rob Howden, and we were saying just how the car is so fast on this small track that any mistake can be punished. And it's the same in this Skip Barber, especially with the the advanced damage model that iRacing's brought in over the last few months. And we really saw with that big smash coming out of the final corner that any mistake can be punished, as Esterson again increases by another half tenth. And this time it's Reese Everard who's giving chase, but he can only get just within 0.2 of a second. 57.0 for him.
Definitely.
Simon Sykes into 10th position. 57.5.
Petit jumps up into 11th, 57.573. It's so impressive to see times just start falling here because they're all under a minute. This is going to be one fast race and a very high lap count race as well.
Well, just look at this here, Esterson, the final corner. This is what we were talking about earlier on as well, is that people are trying to get so close behind the car in front to try and get that slipstream, try and pick up that half tenth here, 1/10 there, that they're risking contact in qualifying. But you're right, going to be a lot of laps here. First race we're looking at
I believe there was a lap limit of 25 laps, what I read.
Yeah. And then 40 minutes it looks like in the feature race. So yeah, 25 laps is going to go by very quickly here, and the drivers are going to have to be, well, definitely going to have their wits about them for this one.
Okay, the feature race is, I believe, had a hour time limit cap on it. Yeah. 1 hour. Oh, they're both 25 lap races.
It
How
says
about that?
40 on the session, so I don't know if they've had a bit of a change of heart in that one. Maybe to fit it into the time with qualifying and everything. Colin Mullen goes P2, and that's the closest we've seen anybody to Max Esterson in the last 5 minutes. The midfield's very close as well. Look from sort of 6th place to 17th, just a quarter of a second as Miles Crabb goes into 3rd. Vast majority of the field from the United States. We do have one Australian, William Liston, and Megan Gilks is a Canadian, so north of the border.
Five minutes left in qualifying. 1/10 separates Esterton and Mullen.
Are you excited for the new cars coming to iRacing? The new Formula 2000 and
You mean the
other one which
USF
slipped my mind.
2000? Because I've
Yes.
driven those cars in that series in real life for a good old 3 rounds until one unfortunate mid-Ohio incident that will not be named.
Oh dear.
You can
Well,
find it easily on YouTube.
those cars going to be fun to drive? Are they going to be what can the people expect from those? Because that's very much the sort of the successor to
Skip
there's one
Barbers.
to this and to the Star Mazda, isn't it? The other one.
Yes. Okay. So the model that I driven was actually the older
Oh,
model.
sorry,
As
just hold that thought.
Kyle
Yeah.
August jumps up into pole by 300ths of a second ahead of Esterton, 56.826. So I didn't drive the Tatus 19, the car that's coming to iRacing now, and that's also the same chassis for USF 2000 and Indy Pro 2000. I'd driven the model before there back in 2013, but from what I've seen, they're pretty much the same specs. It's just that the chassis doesn't look like a death trap like it was to me.
Oh
Uh,
dear.
uh, but what I can say is it's going to be like a Skip Barber with downforce and more power.
Yeah, which should be pretty cool.
Uh,
So somewhere similar to what, like an F4 car, something like that.
it's pretty much a F4 car. It's not like the Mygale F4 cars that the Skip Barber Racing Series uses now in their Formula series that they have.
Mm.
If you ever get a chance to drive a Mygale F4 car, they are very fun.
Ooh.
So they have a
Esterson
little.
looks like he's having some fun out there, I tell you.
Oh yeah, driving this car around this track is just a big giant smile on your face.
When you can do it properly, I imagine, unlike if I was to do it, in which case it might be something that I'd have flashbacks about, no doubt, in the future. As Cangelosi finally comes out of his bit of a slump that he was in, really, in this session, and goes 7th place with just a quarter of a second behind Kyle August. Good lap from Kyle August, it really was. And sector 1, Austin, was the key for him. Very quick sector 1. And look at this here. Is that Dylan Christie going even quicker?
Christie is improving.
This could be close for Christie, you know. If he can get a 10th of a second, it's going to be.
Well, he's got a great draft ahead of him. That's a 31 of Miles Crabb. And going to the final corner, he's got Crabb has a draft, and Christie's going to have a draft. So he's going to get a quote super draft, as some people might call it.
So you have a draft, and you have a draft, and you
Everybody
have a draft.
gets a draft.
Everybody gets one. Here we
Christie
go over the
across
line.
the line, and he goes pole.
Oh, and there's a crash.
849, and Crabb got turned around right there.
Well, his
Big
wheel fell off.
crash.
He got hit
Oh,
so hard
yeah.
his wheel came off at turn 1, which he's not going to be happy about because, Austin, there's only 1 minute and 10 seconds left in this session. So he's either going to have to really, really hustle to get out of the pit lane to get a lap in, or he's not going to make a faster lap. So there could be some interesting discussions with the stewards after this one, no doubt. Oh, look at that. Kyle August then. He's trying to respond So that 56.85, really, really good time there by Dylan Christie. Kyle August on his way through the middle sector and down towards it's basically the old layout here, Austin. They go flying up the hill. It's a brilliant corner, this. And really, you need the commitment in that one.
Especially with this new track scan, the bump that you.
Not gonna be good.
Kyle August is upside down, hard into the wall.
Well, that is not how you want to finish a qualifying session. That is for sure. And not sure who the other car was, but didn't end well for them either.
I think it was Liston, maybe, or Clark.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've already seen 2 monumental accidents in qualifying. As the checkered flag comes out, and it's a hard limit on the qualifying session then, so they cannot set any further times. I'm going to run you through the grid when we do get it on the screen.
I want to correct you something on the USF 2000s. It's faster than the F4 car. It's not like an F4 car. The F4 car is a bit more forgiving. The USF 2000, it's got some teeth. And then the Indy Pro 2000, those things are just a blast. I've never driven one, but I can tell you they're going to be very fun. As we are still waiting for our grid to pop up for heat number 1, as the cars are gridding up here down the Sam Posey Straight.
The only thing I don't know, and forgive me for asking this on the stream, but is there going to be, is it a reverse grid for race 2? That's the only thing we haven't really been told, I think.
They didn't give us, they didn't really give us in the chat much of a description of the second heat. But
it'll be a surprise.
in all the heat races I've been in, it's pretty much that way. As I believe we'll just use the timing tower as our way of saying the grid, since our grid is having a little bit of a fit right now. So take it away, Andrew.
I'll try and be well. Luckily, we've got the pace lap, so I don't have to absolutely blast through this one. But Dylan Christie, as we saw with that tremendous lap, does go on to pole position. And Kyle August just behind him. Then Max Esterson's going to be in 3rd place. Zachary Rivard in 4th. Colin Mullen in 5th. Reese Everard in 6th. Miles Crabb is 7th alongside Dario Cangelosi. William Liston is 9th, the Australian, ahead of Christopher Wright. Eric Filgueras in 11th place with Simon Sykes in 12th. Jackson Lee's 13th. And 14th for Nicholas Palacio. Megan Gilks in 15th with Jason Pettit in 16th, Dan Clark 17th, and Ryan Bjerke in 18th. Brandon Newey in 19th, and Charles Ante is 20th. 21st is Clayton Williams. Derek Cutshaw in 22nd. Brandon Dixon 23rd. Omar Khan 24th. Angela Slocum is in 25th. And rounds out this field of Skip Barbers, who... tell you what, raring to go, but that qualifying session, Austin, it illustrated just how fragile these cars can be and just how careful the drivers are going to have to be especially on lap 1.
You're definitely 25 lap race, and the grid for heat number 2, the feature race, is going to be set by the fastest times set by these drivers during this race. So they're going to be wanting to be a little bit clean, but also drive it as hard as they can, because it's not going to be finishing position that settles it. It's going to be their lap times that settle it. And thank you for MLA4D for that information.
Look for some drivers then to drop back as well, and maybe try and get a clean lap in if indeed they are getting stuck in traffic. So a lot to consider as we head to the green flag. Let's see.
It's going up the hill. So we're coming to the bridge, the Porsche iRacing safety car, leading these guys very soon down the hill as we go by the very a chicane that's not used a lot. I would really like to see more races use that chicane back there on the back straight, but that's not going to happen here or there, because they're all lined up side by side. Dylan Christie and Kyle August leading down the front straight as the Porsche safety car is backing up the field. The revs are high, the heartbeats are high, because we're going racing at Lime Rock Park. And Dylan Christie gets a stormer of start. Max Esterson jumps ahead of Kyle August, as August has already dropped down 2 spots. Side by side in the back as Christie, Esterson, Rivard, Mullen, August, your top 5 after 2 corners. But that battle for 4th place is so close between the Mullen and August, just going at it with each other.
Well, this is going to be very interesting to see how brave they are on lap 1. I think that's Everard maybe having a look at the back.
Yeah,
everybody seemed to get through the first.
Look at Dario Cangelosi!
Oh.
He sent it in there! Cangelosi's up in 6.
Great pass by Cangelosi then.
Somebody just lost their front nose, and oh, Everard's off in the grass!
Oh, there's a couple of them off, but they do survive. And that is
Great
key,
save.
of course, as we saw in qualifying. Any mistake going onto the grass there, it can be absolute disaster, but it's Christie leading from Esterson. And Mullen has just got through into 3rd, so good move there by Colin Mullen.
If there was actually some incident on the pace lap where 2 cars went off earlier on, and we do have some cars off at turn 1 right now.
Oh yeah, it looks like Jason Pettit, Ryan Bjerke, look like they're the ones who bit the dust there on lap 1.
Esterson has some nose damage.
Let's have a look. Well, this is going to be the incident. Then we're going to see.
Oh, the 49 car got turned around.
Yeah, they got together, and then looks like something. Oh, and he gets spun around as Jason Pettit and kind of rides over the front of what I believe was Bjerke. Yeah. And look at this for the lead. This is for the lead, Austin.
Esterson looking up the inside. Christie around the outside, and Esterson with that car that's missing kind of the very tip of the nose cone, showcasing the new scratch damage model, which is a very minor damage model that iRacing has. It's the new damage model and then the advanced damage model. As we look through the field at some of these battles, some cars already having some wing damage as well. As whoa, that's one car off.
Oh, he did well to hold that one. That was a big slide through the grass. It looked like the front of Esterson's car. It looked like the nose cone was just loose on my screen. I don't know. It looked like it was just kind of.
It's not completely off.
It's not off, but it definitely be costing him maybe minute amounts of, well, certainly giving him minute amounts of extra drag down the straight.
It's not going to be like a full-on parachute like it usually does when it's there. When it's just completely not there, as I do see 3 wide down the San Posey straight, side by side, Policio and Lee. Lee just trying to swing on it. We got a car. That was Megan. Was that right?
Megan Jilks.
No, it was Wright and Jilks.
I don't know what happened there, but Wright seemed to go off at tremendous speed. This is it here, Megan Jilks, 49. And
She
was
got tapped
she
in the
just
back?
Clipped on the braking?
She got tapped in the back by 23 of Christopher Wright. And she was the one that went screaming down the escape road.
She did pretty well to, not that she could do a great deal about it, but to avoid hitting anything. And that was Clayton Williams going off on an adventure. Oh,
and he clipped somebody very hard.
Yeah, and then the car behind did a good job to avoid. As look at this now. This is Mullen. He's challenging for the lead all of a sudden. So that's just how it can change in this Skip Barber. We've seen it. And it takes some bravery to pull off the moves in these cars, and these guys are doing it.
Yeah, top 5 all in the same shot. You can literally just take a photo right there. That's a rare opportunity. It's Esterson, Mullen, Christie, August, and Rivard.
Cangelosi is off, apparently.
Oh. What's happened to Dario?
I don't know, but he looked like he might have had something that was unseen on our screen.
I saw him making moves. He might have got loose while we were watching a different incident. Here's Dario Cangelosi. Is this he's already far back from everyone else, and is this classic Lime Rock Park torture? Oh, is he just pulled off? He's done.
Yeah.
Might be having some hardware issue.
I wonder if he had. Yeah, it was quite early on. It was on the first lap, I think, that he had the problems. We talked about fastest lap setting the grid for race 2, and Reese Everard currently has that one. He's just posted a 57.39. So good lap time there by Everard. And Everard is the car at who's it leading that chasing pack.
Yeah, so Everard would be, quote, on pole for heat number 2, but we're still in race number 1. So let's not get on that subject right now because the battle for the win is still alive. 5 cars involved. Esseston, Molly, Christie, August, and Rivard. And it is still anyone's game right now. It looks like Zachary Rivard is just letting these guys race each other as August and Christie have a little bit of contact as they're going side by side, as well as 1 and 2 are going side by side into turn 1.
So we had a in the World GT Championship on Monday night. We had this debate whether it's better to be. Well, it was a pretty conclusive debate that it was better to be behind on the Daytona International Circuit. In your experience and with these cars and what you've done in real life, would you be taking these overtaking moves when they're presenting themselves, or would you be waiting in the train? What would be your plan at the moment?
Depends on what lap.
But in a race like this, 25 laps, would you be happy where Kyle August is right now in 3rd place as we're going on?
I would be happy where Zachary Rivard would be. I love watching at the back, sitting at the back. I was talking to you as these guys go 3 wide, that opportunities come at you no matter how hard you try to avoid them. As these guys going 3 wide, Milan, Edson, and August, your new top 3.
That's actually a really good way of looking at it. Actually, is that it reminds me of sort of the only experience I have of something like that is, you know, if you're racing something like the iRacing Daytona 500 or something like that, you know, you kind of you don't really want to go to the front, but sometimes you kind of find yourself there. Yeah.
I was racing at Nordschleifer earlier this week, and I was involved in a very crazy pack heading in on first lap, and I decided to drop to the very end of the pack, and next corner, they all took each other out, and I won the race. So that's what I mean, what Zachary Rivard is doing. He's just letting these guys battle out, but staying as close as he can to stay in their draft. As they're once again going 3-5 once more.
He's got his fingers crossed. He's got his 4-leaf clover out. He's bought a lottery ticket. He's done everything he can to you know, hope that these 4 get into some difficulty, but and
the wish is almost granted as August and Christie get into contact. Rivard looking around the outside, but he's going to settle in back there behind Christie and August.
Well, that car in front of August, it's kind of the color of a genie, at least, isn't it? I mean, he might have started granting him his first wish, but not quite this time.
Yeah, I can tell you about some racing grids. Off the track, all good friends. On the track, you want them to die sometimes.
Oh yeah. I mean, racing can turn your best friends against you. I mean, look what happened with Nico Rosberg, Lewis Hamilton. You know, best of friends when they were younger and bitter enemies. And look at this 3 abreast again, going into turn 1, and all it takes is you to misjudge this outside move just once, and that's your race done. But thankfully for us and for them, and not for Zachary Rivard, Esseston managed to do that pretty well that time, as we're looking at the battle for 12th and 13th.
Yeah, 2 damaged cars going at it. Liston with that very damaged rear wing, and Figueroa with that missing front tip of the nose.
I wonder how that could have happened. It's a bit of a coincidence, isn't it? One's damaged the front, the other's damaged the rear. I wonder how that's happened.
Maybe from each other. Back up the front, and I don't want to really lead this front fight because it's just constant gloves off battle with each other. Esseston dips a wheel into the grass going into a corner exit. That's going to give Christie a good old run, but they're all drafting out. They're going to fan out 3 wide in the midfield now, and August actually thought about there. So 2 wide for 2nd place. Mulan, easy lead ahead of him. And
you've really got to
change the positions.
You've really got to put your trust in the car on the inside when you do go for that outside move, because all it takes is them slide wide, get a bit of understeer, maybe not nail that turn in as you were talking about earlier on, quite right, and then you're both toast. But look at this, Reese Everard, look, no, well, there's that as well. It's all kicking off. Reese Everard has took this opportunity to get within striking distance. He's got it down to 1.2 seconds.
Yeah, Everard is closing in on these guys because they're all fighting for position except for Zachary Rivard, who's just sitting back there watching this all happen. This lap car is getting a section, and Mulan almost comes and takes him out. And they're all diving down to the inside. Hopefully this lap car gives them a little bit of space heading into turn 1, but they're all bunching up and looking like NASCAR right now. And the lap car is staying with them. This is getting tight and sketchy right now, especially for Zachary Rivard. He doesn't want to be there.
Who is that? The lapped car is not giving in at all.
That would be Christopher Wright. That would be Christopher Wright.
Oh.
I believe that's a 23 car.
I tell you what, that was. I was about to ask you if Mullen is feeling a bit nervous at the front of this pack, but he definitely will be after that as we reach half distance.
Well, now that we are reaching half distance, you want to be in the front because we are experiencing lap traffic in everyone. And Mullen goes off. Once you see the pack that you're in start to break up, you want to be at the very front of that pack. So where you are on the track depends on your driving style. If you're a very cautious driver like me, you would want to stay at the back of the pack as these guys are going side by side through turn 1. Oh, this is beautiful racing. Mullen and Christie. Christie once again looking down to the inside around left corner.
Well, certainly teeth gritted and butt cheeks clenched for those two. I think that, and the sun's come out as well, Austin. So your prediction of the track temperature rising as this race goes on looks like it's going to come to fruition because we've got bright sunshine now. And we're going to have a 6-car battle momentarily. It might only take one more lap for Reese Everard to get there.
Oh, Everard's already caught up with these guys. And there he is. He has joined the battle for first. Mullen, Christie, Everston, August, Rivard, and Everin. Your battle for first place. So we see August and Everston going down to the inside, fanning out once again, heading into turn 1. Who's going to be the last late breakers and send it up there?
Well, you've got Mullen, who is now at the point where he's starting to become comfortable. The point when you're not comfortable is when somebody takes second place and gets and attacks you quickly, because that's when you're not sure about where he's fast, where he's slow. But when you've led a few laps like Colin Mullen has, he knows, Austin, that he can take the inside line into turn 1. He can defend that as long as he doesn't make a mistake, as long as there isn't any contact, which there nearly was from Dylan Christie.
Yeah, Christie is riding that rear wing so close, like a ride over at a Six Flags. Mullen goes off the track. Let's ride on board with Christie as we are heading down the inside of Sam Posey Straight, heading into turn 1. Side by side they go. Mullen, Christie, still side by side as they swing it through turn 1. Who's going to have the better ace?
Oh, contact there!
And no!
Oh,
and Rivard's got caught in it.
Well, it's Rivard. It was Rivard, because Everard actually made it through. He's actually in 3rd place.
Christie, Esterson, and Everard, your new top 3 after that very unfortunate crash at the front.
What a brilliant race this is in the FRP iRacing Challenge.
And Rivard, this is the one risk if you're at the back of the pack. You could just get caught out like this crash. Yeah. And I've been in a few incidents on iRacing exactly just like that in that exact quarter. But now we have 3 guys battling out at the front. They look like 3 angry hornets going after the same flower. As Christie and Esterson side by side.
Hopefully they don't have a pollen allergy. Be in trouble. As Everard, like my money's on Everard, Austin. I don't know about you, but whenever you catch a group of cars, and this kind of ties into what I was saying before they crashed, you've got that momentum. You think you're invincible out there. You can do anything. And Everard, he's set the fastest lap of the race, and he's got that momentum. He's got that confidence.
My money is on Kyle August, actually. I have a feeling that these guys are going to be fighting it very hard, and that group behind of August and Crab are going to catch up. And August, we saw him ride the bumper very well in qualifying, got himself provisional pole.
Everard
And
fastest lap by
and
4
here we
tenths
go.
of a second, though.
Everard 3 wide down the posing straight. Everard got into the grass a little bit, and he's going to swing it around the outside of
There's the contact.
And Christie goes off. No, that's Esselstyn goes off, and
there's the
Everard's lost his nose. This I know way too well.
Now that will be like a parachute. Yeah, that is not gonna. It's not gonna go well in terms of aerodynamics from there. Be a little bit lighter, but that's not going to help him too much. As August,
it's going to help in weight saving, I must say but it's not going to help in trying to pull away from somebody. So Everard has got a pretty much open-nosed reverse cone in front of him, but that's going to help Christie start pulling away because he's not worried about there. So August is going to have to push as hard as he can and try to get the draft off Everard and catch up on Christie.
There was
Everard, even if he's missing a nose, he's still going to try to go for an overtake.
There was a. You can see all the framework of the chassis there, underneath where the nose cone should be. It's not going to be optimized, that's for sure. But certainly, it's not going to stop him trying. He was quick, so he might be able to parlay that into some pace. But I heard a great quote. There's a great quote from Jonathan Palmer when he was saying that as the race goes on, those little windows of opportunity get bigger and bigger until eventually you dive through. That's what happened. Didn't quite work out for these guys, and what was a 6-car battle has been decimated here. And we've just got 2 now, and August, who's suffering with that lap traffic, so he must have some damage. Must have, Austin, he must have.
We got a car off coming out this corner. They just respawn, but Christie and Everard, these 2 guys leading out. Crab and August have joined the battle. They are within 1.5 seconds. That's popped up on our battle screen. And here comes Everard challenging for a move. Even if you are damaged, he's still going for it. And he's going to try to switch back, which is very dangerous into turn 1. As Christie still leading out on Everard, who is, I must say, very happy that that's there. For one thing, his feet are going to be very, very chill.
He looks like... yeah, it's the equivalent of the sim racing equivalent of a fan under the desk, isn't it? As I must admit, I did notice. I don't know if this is. I'll keep an eye on it again this time. But I did notice as soon as he pulled out of the slipstream, he seemed to lose a fraction of a second. So I want to see if he's got that aero effect. If that aero effect is hampering him slightly.
The aero effect is definitely hurting him.
Well, it proves that he's driving the absolute wheels off it.
Oh.
Let's see if when he pulls out of the slipstream.
Yeah, he gets a little bit of a boost. They're side by side, but now Christie is just going to sail past him in the braking zone. But Everard holding in there, using that mechanical grip to his advantage. That onboard this looks so funny right now.
What a brilliant race this is. Absolutely fantastic race.
It's kind of flown by us right now because we're 5 laps to go here at Lime Rock Park.
I will say this is my first time in years covering the Skip Barber, and it is. I must admit I don't like driving it that much, but I do love watching it, and this is tremendous. Rhys Everard, his car doing a good impression of the 2004 Williams from that angle anyway. As it goes through the penultimate corner, and look at the way
Everard's got a great run.
It's fantastic.
He's got a great run, a little bit out of the draft, but you can just tell him he has the speed advantage and corner advantage. He's going to try to push it down to the inside, but Christie goes off all the way into the grass to defend there. Everard had to get off into a void there as these 2 are squabbling away. Behind them, we got a new fastest lap, and that is Miles Crab getting a 56.82 from the draft to Kyle August. These 2 are definitely working together as they are closing that gap to Christie and Everard.
Crab's done well to close that gap. He was 1.5 seconds behind the last I saw that. And you can see how Kyle August is closing in, and you see the graphic at the bottom of the screen. That is a net 0.8 of a second over the past 5 laps. As we've only got 4 laps to go at the end of this one, Austin. It has flown by this one.
Definitely has flown by, and that's the excitement that Lime Rock Park brings to you
Oh, he
We
went into the
mentioned
grass. Christie went into the grass.
you gotta use all the tracks sometimes to defend from each other. We got a slow car around the outside. These guys force go onto the inside. He's gonna take the alternative line of the caretakers as August and Crab
I
have
would have done
joined
that.
by. And let's
I would
go
have done
back
that
to
myself.
Hey, when you see this fight, you don't want to be that guy who disrupts it.
Oh no.
So now we're back to a 4-car fight, and you can see August. He's seeing this and be like, do I really want to get involved?
Yeah, it's like he gets there and he thinks, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. As you can see the tire smoke. They fly
Here
up the
comes
hill.
August. He's looking down the inside of Everard. He's going to try to force him wide. Everard goes wide, and August showing the elbows right now, but Everard had the speed around the outside. These two guys are still battling. Let's not count out Miles Crab. He's going to get the draft. Miles Crab has the fastest lap of the race, but all this battling is allowing Chrissy to start walking away from these two.
Oh wow! I don't know how they didn't make contact there as he moved out from the slipstream, and August goes through in the second place as well. Everard in third, and Miles Crab, he wants a little bit of the bubbly. He wants to get into third place.
Oh, Marco and I love you for using that right there. But look what's ahead of him. We got a Scrabble ahead. 2 cars going side by side in front of him. There's a fight happening just in front of him. And it's going to be absolute insanity to get these guys past him with 2 laps to go. Here at Lime Rock Park, Miles Crab, Everard, August, Christie, your top 4 in the battle for the lead here at Lime Rock Park. And here comes August. He's got the Drat. And everyone here's got the drafted. Who's going to get the better run? That lap car goes down to the inside. They say onto the inside. Now drag racing down the San Posey straight. August and Christie pedal to the metal. 2 laps to go here at Lime Rock Park. Christie onto the inside. August looking around the outside. Is going to try to go for a switch back down onto the exit of turn 1. Still nose to tail with each other around left-hand turn. They go.
Absolutely just wrestling for control, trying to contain that Skip Barber and making sure it's on the preferred trajectory, and that trajectory is towards the victory. And where is that going to come from? Is it going to be Kyle August? Is it going to be Dylan Christie? 1.5 laps to go, and up the hill. Very difficult corner this. Where's Everard gone? Is it just
he's gone into space,
or is he out?
It's connection issue because there he is again. I was expecting it to pop in, but that was a there he is.
There he is. Oh my. That's very close as well. White flag's going to be in the air, Austin.
White flag in the air. August diving down around the outside. Everard went into the inside. Christie, he's fallen down. Last late breakers. Here we go. August or Christie side by side through turn 1. A little bit of bumping and banging on the wheels with each other. Christie is holding off August. August is burying his nose in there down into the left turn. Everard trying to swing it around his damaged car around the outside. Back in a second. Everard has made a move with a car with no nose, battling into second place. These 4 cars using all the skills they have, and they are going for it. 2 corners to go. Here at Lime Rock Park, Everard gets into the back of Christie. There's almost a little bit of bump draft. Here comes August now. He's going to try to get a better run. It's all about the last corner now. Christie, Everard, August, Crab. Your top 4. Everard onto the back of Christie. Christie leading out this trade. They are so packed together. You would think this is an actual trade. And Crab got into the grass. Crab onto the drag strip. And it's going to be Christie taking the win by 0.04 of a second.
Oh my word. Reminded me of that Indy Lights race where it was a 4-wide finish. We almost had that. That was a tremendous battle. Really just excellent stuff. Gladiatorial out there. And Everard with the car. No nose cone after that crash earlier on. To drive to second place like that, nearly sneak it on the line. Unbelievable. So look at Megan Gilks and Figueras coming through the final corner. And that is a good drive by Megan Gilks to come home in 11th after getting punted down the escape road, Austin. That was a good recovery.
Yeah, great recovery for these drivers. Biggest mover in race number 1, Dan Clark, up 11 spots from where he qualified. And speaking of qualified, these guys are now qualified for our feature race number 2, where the lap times are settling in the position and sitting up on pole. Well, I'm not going to read that because we're in warm up now, and I think we will
Yeah,
be back
Miles
after a
Crabbit
small
it
break.
looks like. Let's have a look.
But
Oh,
first, here is
yeah.
our results. Dylan Christie takes the win, followed by Reese Everard, Miles Crabb right behind him. Uh, Kyle August, Max Esterson, Dan Clark, Nicholas Palacio, Jackson Lee, Brandon Newey, William Liston, Megan Geix, Eric Figueroa, Christopher Wright, Derek Cutshaw, Clayton Williams, Charles Ante, Zachary Rivard, Simon Sykes, Brandon Dixon, Colin Mullen, Jason Petit, Omar Khan, Dario Cangalosi, Ryan Bajurk, Andrea Sokolom, and Steve Everard at the end with our two race officials actually scheduled for the race. And are the concession stands open? I believe so. Some good nachos being sold there right now.
Oh, that'd be just the ticket, would that?
Oh,
Just make me
definitely.
hungry now. Even at 1 in the morning, unfortunately. What a race, Austin. That was fantastic.
Definitely. What a race. We got a 10-minute warm up for y'all right now as we're just getting ready. The drivers are getting ready, warmed up, loosening himself up, freezing I want to say something letting their face muscles relax after a intense freaking race. And speaking of relax, I'm gonna breathe for once because I kind of forgot how to breathe for 2 straight laps.
I think, well, that's what it's going to do. It's going to allow the drivers to catch their breath, to relax a little bit. Some of them probably don't want to take part in the warm up, to be honest, because it's they've just been on the edge of the seat. Might need a change of underwear depending on who you were in that last race, but yeah, they've got another one of at least the same length to go, and if it's anything like that one, it's going to be terrific. Now, what this one has potential to do, it will swap the order around a little bit as it does go by, like we say, fastest lap times. We're almost certain that that's how that's decided. But what it may do is it'll reward the drivers obviously with the race pace. Now, if the ones with the fast race pace are at the front, it could string this pack out a little bit more. We could have a slightly larger group at the front, maybe than what we had in race 1.
It definitely. And as we wait for heat number 2, we're going to take a little bit of a chill break. But stay with us as we're going to keep the scenic cams rolling for y'all. And we're back here at Lime Rock Park for the feature race. And after a very exciting heat number one, I'm excited for the feature. It's the same results. The cars have been repaired. Everard has got a front nose. And after making a massive charge to the line, he's going to be starting on the front row. Andrew, what are your expectations for this race?
I can't see it being anything other than brilliant, to be honest. Yeah, I feel like we're going to get a tremendous race, and Dylan Christie, he's going to be looking to do the double.
Well, let's bring up the grid as these guys make their way around Lime Rock Park once more.
So it's Reese Everard on pole. Sorry, it's Christie on pole, and then it's Everard. We don't have the grid actually to hand, but I'm going to have a look at it just actually in the sim. So let me just give me a second on this one. So Dylan Christie on pole, Reese Everard second, Miles Crabb third, fourth Kyle August, fifth Max Esterson, sixth Dan Clark, seventh Nicholas Palacio, eighth Jackson Lee, ninth Brandon Newey, William Lisson is in 10th with Megan Jilks in 11th, Eric Filgueras in 12th, Christopher Wright 13th, 14th Derek Cutshaw, and then Clayton Williams 15th, 16th Charles Ante, Zachary Rivard 17th. He'll be coming through the field. He started 4th in race 1. Simon Sykes 18th, 19th Brandon Dixon, Colin Mullen in 20th. He'll be another fast one to watch. Jason Pett in 21st, 22nd Omar Khan, 23rd Dario Cangelosi, Ryan Bjork in 24th, Angela Slocum 25th, and Steve Everard is going to be starting at the very back.
Definitely, and Porsche safety car pulling away as we are getting ready to go racing here at Lime Rock Park for the feature race for the FRP iRacing Challenge. Porsche safety car lining them up. They're all gridding up, going slower than before. I do not see any cars going off the grid, and the safety car is going up. And ladies and gentlemen, the hearts are pounding, the reds are rising higher because the 5 red lights are on it. Here we go racing for the feature at Lime Rock Park. Great start by Christine Everard. Those two stuck behind, but it's a massive collision at the start. So many cars involved. We got car upside down. Noses flying up in the sky. Tires flipping all over the place.
There's one car in pieces.
Goodness. I would say about 14 cars made it through there without getting involved in there.
Is there a safety car in this series? It doesn't appear so, but we're going to get the replay anyway. We're looking at Brandon Newey. Oh, it just sandwiched all together, didn't it? Also, it just 3 into 1 it ended up.
Oh!
Somebody got absolutely obliterated in the middle. That was there was a
upside down.
And there's one that the nose cone just got absolutely smashed off.
I'm pretty sure one of these cars might be a Pinto because that front end of the car just exploded. Is that Jackson Lee whose car was? Oh, it was Jackson Lee. Just watch his front nose just disappear on us.
Oh.
I think another wheel spawned right there because, yeah, there it is. There it goes. Just bounced off the other side of the screen. Oh, back live. Everard and Chrissy are leading out the race. They have a gap to Crab, August, Clark, and Milan as they're pulling away. But it's just carnage right now. I'm still trying to get over what the heck just happened.
Everard was sliding around. He missed a couple of apexes in the first sector. It meant that Christie got very, very close indeed. Kyle August making a little run for third on Miles Crabb. But yeah, absolute carnage in the first few laps. We've only got 18.
You see Clark, he's just driving off the track.
We've lost at least 4 drivers. And several others that no doubt have damage. They're going to have to come into pit road as we see one in the background.
No, he was faking a pit. I think he decided it's not good. But Christie and Everard, this seems familiar. Side by side, heading into turn 1. And they got Crab on the back of them as well. 1, 2, 3 in race 1. 1, 2, 3 so far in race 2. But in different order, this time Everard's in the lead.
Kyle August has just got ahead of Dan Clark then. 4th and 5th places. You can see he's just edged in front. But this is a 4-car battle.
Oh, look at this dive. Clark up onto the inside. August swinging around the outside. And oh, I thought they touched a little bit at the very top of the hill. And here
It's not
goes
a place you want to make
August.
contact.
Oh, great defending by August. Clark looking up the inside now. He's in a big old draft. And this 5-pack of cars, they're being dropped by the front 3. So this
we
is
saw
pack
it in race
racing
1.
on a road course.
Saw it in race 1 as well, didn't we? We had 2 distinct packs. Oh no, that's not going to go well, surely. Oh, how have they avoided him?
They didn't, because there's a wing missing. Clark's rear wing has fallen off, and his Skip Barber UF2000 car looks more like an F1600 car.
It's now a Formula Ford, as it's got no rear wing. The fastest lap of the race by Cangelosi, 57.8. But down in 14th place. But yeah, Dan Clark, he's not going to have a lot of rear grip now.
To be honest, the rear wing didn't provide that much amount of downforce to these cars, so it's not going to be that much of an effect, but it's definitely going to affect him in some way, especially around Lime Rock Park.
Could be a bit quicker on the straights, you never know.
That is true. But he is already falling back in the quarter speed because he's 0.6 behind August now.
Oh yeah, he is gaining on the straight though. He's a bit quicker. 206 kilometers an hour. That's the fastest of anybody, apart from Mullen, who's right behind Esterson. So depending on your driving style, Austin, it might actually suit you to have a bit less rear grip.
It's not going to suit you.
Some drivers like it though, don't they? They like a more oversteery balance.
I know some guys like an oversteery balance, but if your car is just missing downforce that everyone else has, you're just out of luck right there. And this is just going to be Esterson. Just how fast can he pull away and get past him? But Clark's car is a lightning bolt down the straight right now. Yep, Clark definitely is driving a lightning bolt because he's actually pulling away from Esterson just slightly. And
decided that he has to get this done now. He doesn't want to be held up.
Yeah, Esterson got him going into the braking zone. And Clark's front nose flew off right there. Was Clark bump drafting Esterson?
Well, Mullen's got a piece of his nose missing as well.
Oh, I was talking about Mullen.
He's got some of his front nose missing. But he did set the fastest lap on the previous time round, 57.48. That was 0.3 quicker than the leader, Reese Everard, who's got nearly a second gap, or he's nearly got clear of Dylan Christie.
Yeah, Everard's been driving a wonderful race. Does Christie and Crab, did they have a little bit of contact last lap?
Well, that is possible. Although Christie was quicker than Everard that last lap, so who knows?
I think something might have happened earlier on in this lap while we were watching the second pack battle each other as we got a laps car staying off for showing their respects to the front of the guys.
Yeah, the grass is certainly somewhat safer place when the leaders are coming through. Looking at Dan Clark with the no rear wing on his car. He'll be frustrated with that because he'd made a good start. Did a good race in race 1, fighting his way up through the field. He was in, originally for the first race, Clark qualified in 17th. And he finished 6th, so a fantastic charge. And he'll be frustrated that he can't capitalise on the obvious, great pace that he had.
Yeah, and speaking of charging, Colin Milan's up 13 spots. But if you remember, there was that massive crash, so he did dodge his way through there. So,
but it must have been that must have been some fun to see what he saw from his position. But yeah, up 13 places from where he started. Also, Jason Pettit up 12 places. Dario Cangelosi up 11, and Simon Sykes has gained 7 positions. And you can see it on your screen.
Thank you, Frederick, for these wonderful graphics up on our screen. He's the one controlling the broadcast today with all these cameras, graphics, timing things, everything. So thank you, Frederick.
And by the
Always
way,
nice to have you in the booth.
oh yeah, big thanks to Frederick and Everard though. Austin, he's gained one position only, but that is the most important one, of course.
Yep, Everard in the lead. 5/10 ahead of Christie, and he sets it. Well, I was going to say new fast lap. Oh, there goes again. Esselstyn has the fastest lap now. I'm
Wow, almost
expecting it
going
to be
as
stolen one more time for me.
oh yeah, almost going as quickly as they were in qualifying. So hard they're pushing out there, the drivers, despite it being 25 laps, not hanging about. Mullen actually did 2 fastest sectors in his lap. It wasn't quite enough to take the overall prize. And look at Christie, Austin. He's pegging Everard back by a 10th a lap and 2/10 on the previous lap.
Yeah, Christie is gaining on Everard in that battle for the lead. But the battle we're seeing on screen is still the battle for fourth because Eston, August, Clark, and Milan are just going at each other. And Clark with that Formula 4, I'm just going to be calling that, is just very hard to get around. And he's finally overtaken. And I believe these three guys are going to start pulling away from him.
Yeah, I mean, he might be able to stay with them because of his straight line speed. To be honest, it might be the best thing that he can do is stay there and pick up the points for 7th place. But yeah, I think he's got his work cut out for him if he's going to finish any higher. And you can see them dropping him in the corners.
Yeah, no rear wing is definitely going to hurt you no matter what car you are driving. Unless that rear wing is the size of a air dam, then it's going to hurt you.
Yeah, Suzuki Escudo rear wing, if you know what that is. Now that would have some effect, that's for sure. Look at Kyle August then. He's under pressure from Max Esterson. Esterson up the inside, and that's a clean move there. And he's up to 4th place.
Yep, Max putting it to the max right now as they're trying to close that, I would say 1 second gap to Crab ahead of him.
Yeah,
And we haven't talked about this front group because they've been pretty silent about it. Everard, Christie, and Crab. 1, 2, 3 last round, but these guys are just pulling away.
well, it's only just come together into a battle. So
This is true.
you can be forgiven for not seeing them so far. As Everard at 1 bit, he had a 1 second lead over Dylan Christie, sorry. And Christie had a 1 second lead over Crab. So they have now come together. And we're going to see some fireworks potentially to the tune of what we saw in race 1. But don't forget what happened in race 1, Austin. The front guys were battling. It allowed Everard to close in.
Oh, August is off. A lot of smoke into turn 1 as Kyle August has gone up, but he's rejoined back in 7th place.
Yeah, he lost a lot of places, didn't lose too much time. So I think he still will be able to stay onto the back of that group at some point. But yeah, unfortunate for him. Mullen with another fastest lap, now up 16 places from where he started, as there was a lapped car off. It was Angela Slocum. But Mullen now can very much pull these three towards the front group with his pace.
Here comes Efston on Milan. Milan just going down that straight. Believe he does have some nose cone damage, but let's fling it on over to the front between Everard and Christie and Crab.
Everard slightly missed the apex and nearly put him into Christie, but managed to just keep it, just slide in front of him and keep that position. It's a great scrap for for 4th place. Beg your pardon, but yeah, very, very close racing in this challenge here. The FRP iRacing challenge. Well, this is heat 2 of the evening at Lime Rock Park, Apex Racing TV. Andrew Woodhouse with Austin Knight and Frederick Nichtel on the cameras. And Austin, you know, that first race was an instant classic, really. And this one's shaping up to what could be even better. It's reaching the boiling point now.
Definitely is. We've passed halfway, and we are ready to start seeing some fireworks like we did last time with a 5-car battle for the lead. Well, now we have a 3-car battle for the lead. This race has been much cleaner at the front.
Yes. Yeah, I think it wasn't so clean on that one at turn 1 at the back. Yes, but
yeah. But after that, it's been pretty all right. We can all agree that it's been all right, right? Okay,
yeah. Well, we had to dodge some flying wheels, but we're all right.
It's okay. Our commentary box is not located over there.
So we're socially distancing ourselves from the circuit.
Yeah, my social distancing spot is just a couple thousand miles down in Texas.
Oh, there
so
you
that
go.
wheel is heading in my direction.
Well, it'll probably get there eventually. It went over, bouncing along with some force, and now look at this. This is for it's a very close battle between 10th and 11th. This is William Liston, the Australian. Oh, big slide.
You know how the Aussies do it. They like to go a bit sideways sometimes, but William Liston setting it on Simon Sykes.
Properly sent that one.
Yeah. Overnight mail shipping sending right there.
Trying to get in the top 10. See if he can manage it.
Well, he's got 11 laps to do it.
Eating up.
As Christie and Everard drag racing down the straight. This is where things can get heated. But they're very separated going down the front straight. Everard, Christie, whoa.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, take a screenshot of that because you ain't going to see that again.
Two fastest laps. Christie
fastest
and
laps.
Mullen.
Wow.
Now, that's not something I've seen for a long, long time. There was a qualifying session, I remember, in at Jerez in Formula 1 in 1997 where 3 drivers set an identical lap time in qualifying. Frentzen, I believe it was Villeneuve, and Michael Schumacher.
Jerez is a very fun circuit to race on.
That's a great one, yeah. Very good. Oh, they're close for 4th. They are, I mean, it's going on for the lead as well, but they are almost touching.
Yeah, here comes Christie. They were almost touching on the exit. Christie and Everard side by side. Who's going to be last of the late breakers coming out of the San Posey Straight? There is still side by side. And
Everard's
Christie's
drifting.
round the outside. Christie's got it.
Terrific. Really good. Everard's not going to give up, though. So he's trying to sneak up the inside into one of the few right-handers on the circuit.
Miles Crabbe has got the best seat in the house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's doing what you said. I remember what you said in the first race. He'd like to be at the back of that pack. And Miles Crabbe doing the sensible thing. He's staying just about close enough. But he's not really... He's giving himself enough space to react, a couple of cars' lengths. What always amazes me, Austin, is how they can...
They're not pulling away,
the drivers
though.
can run to each other.
Oh yeah, these guys are battling out so close to each other, but the group behind them, they are closing in. If you're watching the interval, you're going to start seeing it go down as Milan, Esther, Clark, and August, they're starting to form a little bit of a peloton and start closing in on the front 3. They just all have to work together and not try any crazy battles to catch up with them.
Yeah, the front 3 kind of were allowed to go off on their breakaway. They reached the intermediate sprint, I guess, and then the peloton decided, nope, you're not having this one, boys. Let's see if they can see what they can conjure in the last 8 laps of side by side between Clark and August. And that's in second to last corner. That's not an easy place to pass.
Yeah, I believe Eston is going to try to pass Milan here.
The leaders
are they bump draft? I think these guys are bump drafting.
Makes sense, I guess, if you can do it gently enough that you don't knock the nose cone off.
I've been a victim of a Skippy bump draft that's gone wrong. It's not fun.
Oh dear.
And a USF 2000 bump draft I got wrong as well.
I remember I was doing the 24 Hours of Le Mans in iRacing, and Alex Simpson was driving middle of the night, and I was spotting for him. It must have been 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Some guy decides, for some reason, he wanted to try and bump draft him down the straight, sent him flying off into the fence at about 160 miles an hour. It's safe to say that at that time of night, you're not happy when things like that happen.
Definitely, and you probably woke up a few people around you.
I think I went to bed. I just went, well, mate, your repairs are going to take quite a long time. I'm not going to bed.
Yeah, bump draft in an open wheel doesn't work well. I have seen a Euro Formula car, I believe it was a Formula 3 car, actually successfully bump draft down the straight of Monza.
I
Which
saw
when
that.
I saw
Yeah,
that,
was
it
pretty
blew
good.
my mind.
That was impressive. I'll give him that.
Oh yeah, my bump draft was on the running onto the green flag at Mid Ohio.
Oh.
So yeah, the guy in front of me just wanted to go. I wanted to go. Guy behind me decided to get into the back like Everard almost just did, and caused a massive 11-car crash.
Yeah, I mean, that's not what you want at any time. It's almost like the first lap of this race. Oh, look at Everard.
Oh, Everard's got a beautiful run. That couldn't have been any more perfect for Everard right now as he is sailing past Christie, and Everard is back in the lead here at Lime Rock Park. And I believe this battle for first might become a 8-car battle because, hello, boys.
Whoa.
They're back.
They're going to have to get on with it, though, these guys. Because you've only got 5 laps. Credit to Dan Clark as well. He's hanging on in this group with no rear wing.
Yeah, the Formula Ford is still in there. And if Dan Clark gets a top 5 with no rear wing, that would be a achievement I would be proud of.
That would be a heck of a job.
Yeah, but now with 5 laps to go, Everard, Christy Crab, your top 3, and the battle for first is now with 6 cars in there. Should be 8 very soon, but they're just separating so fast going down that straight, and there's a nose off. Christy has lost his nose. He bumped into the back of Everard.
Now they've got lap traffic to contend with as well. Into turn 1 then. On lap 22. Oh, where are they going to go? Where's
He's
the lap
holding him
car
off
gonna go?
Everard in
What's
the lap
lap
car
doing?
They get into each other, and Christy is going to try and take it, but Everard around the outside, that lap car is acting like a speed bump, and Christy can't move. Everard has regained the position, but now the battle for first is Everard, Christy, Crab, Eston, Belong, Clark, August.
You've got to get off the line if you're being lapped. Come on. Like, when there's that many cars coming through, and you're sitting there in the middle of the road. Unbelievable. But
He's being paid off. He's being paid off. Somebody must have Venmoed him $25.
They'll give him the money later, I'm sure. But Everard's got 4 tenths now. That's not going to be enough. That's going to evaporate in no time at all. Mullen has been helped out by this, but it's killed August and Clark. It really has.
But Christy, that front nose damage is going to hurt their top speed down the straight. As Everard leading him on. 3 laps to go here at Lime Rock Park.
Just under 3 minutes then for these guys to get this done. Oh, Clark off into the pits.
He can't deal with it anymore. He's out of the contention. 5-way fight. 4-wide pack. We got Milan just sitting at the very back there. Biggest mover so far in this race. Up 15 spots. As Everard, Christy, and Eston racing along.
Jason
Final
Pettit
corner.
struggling as well.
Yeah, but Christy's got that front nose damage like Everard had, but Everard had the entire front nose of his car just lifted up. Christy has that just little tiny front tip, but that is still a very big impact. Here comes Eston looking down the inside of Christy. Christy looking around the outside of Everard. And this might not end very well, but it does end well because it's Everard. And Eston is now jumping into second place, and Eston is looking to get another place as he is racing with Everard. Your top 5 all in one shot. with 2 laps to go here at Lime Rock Park for the FRP iRacing Challenge.
Well, to make the quote, they're either mighty brave or mighty stupid. And but they are a bit of, maybe you need to be a bit of both to fight at the front with the Skip Barber. It's such close competition. So we've seen all night long Everard, Esterson, Christie, Mullen and Crab. Mullen's probably the fastest of the bunch in this race. But can he get to the front? That's the question. We're going to see the white flag, and these 5 are going to battle it out for the win over 57 more seconds.
Here they go, ladies and gentlemen. Get your cameras out, because Everard defending down to the inside. Eston looking around to the outside. They're all fanning out. Eston trying to take Everard around the outside. They're drifting side by side. 2 wide to go.
Oh, wow.
Here at turn 1, and Eston, he's got the inside. And Milan, he's joined them. Milan trying to sneak up onto the inside of Everard. Eston, though, he's leading away. Milan trying to go for the switch. They're going off track right now. Eston, Everard, Milan, Christie, and Crab. These guys are all going on. Milan has some damage on the rear wing that's going to hurt his top end speed as Eston has left Everard. Everard has had an incident going into that very tricky uphill corner. He may have got onto the curb. He's going down, up, around the outside into the grass as Esterson is going to win the race at Lime Rock Park. Now the race is for second. Everard, Milan, Christie, and Crab. Little drag race. Milan goes down to the inside. Esterson staying his line, and he's going to take second place. And the battle for third is going to go to Milan, up 17 places.
Somebody blew the engine coming over the line, but it was a tremendous battle. And I think what did for Everard was he went wide, didn't he? Second to last corner. It looked like he just went slightly off onto the grass. May have to see that again, but yeah, he lost momentum. Esterson, brilliant to hold it round the outside in turn 1 and 2. That was a race-winning moment.
I forgot to breathe again.
We need more oxygen in the commentary box, but I think what a fantastic race. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely outstanding. And 2 of the best races in succession that I've seen in a long time. And it was done here in the FRP iRacing Challenge. What a race. And we're going to see the final results up on the screen. Max Esterson does win. The man from New York on top of the pile. Reese Everard in second. And then Colin Mullen in third. With a little bit of the bubbly. Dylan Christie in fourth. Miles Crab in fifth. Kyle August in sixth. He was potentially up there. Just struggled with the traffic, it looked like there. Simon Sykes in seventh. Jason Pettit eighth. Christopher Wright in ninth. And 10th was William Liston. Dario Cangelosi in 11th, Eric Filgueras in 12th, Megan Gills in 13th. And then the cars 1 lap down on more. Jackson Lee 14th, Brandon Newey 15th, Zachary Rivard 16th, 17th, Brandon Dixon, Dan Clark 18th. And then 3 laps down, Derek Cutshaw and Clayton Williams. Omar Khan 6 laps down, Angela Slocum 19 laps down. Then we got the cars who were taken out on the first lap. Charles Ante, Nicholas Palacio, Ryan Bjerker, and Steve Everard. They didn't make it past the first couple of corners, Austin.
Yeah, that start was a crazy explosion of fun and just joy and chaos. To quote Mad Max, what a day, what a glorious day. And to quote the track marshal, this again.
Fantastic day. Great racing. And we're going to bring in Reese Everard to the commentary box. And Reese, can you hear us first of all?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, how can you describe those 2 races? Because the first race was, so close. Wing damage, front nose damage, completely off. Still driving it around. Feet must have been cold. But you still managed to get within a 1/10 of a second of the win. Take us through that one, and then take us through the battle in race 2, which was a different kind of battle.
Yeah, in the first race, I was struggling on the first couple laps with my tires. So I kind of fell back from the lead pack. But once my tires came up to temperature, I was putting good lap times in, so I just put my head down and I kept trying to hit my marks and get good lap times. I managed to catch up to everyone. Unfortunately, because of lap traffic, I think there was some incidents which kind of narrowed the front group down, which would have been a lot of fun if everyone had stayed there. But either way, it was a good race. Yeah, and Dylan, I think I tried every which way to try and pass him in the first race, and he just had me covered everywhere. So I kind of learned a little bit from the first race, and then going into the second one, me and Dylan had a great battle pretty much the whole race, back and forth. And again, just it seemed like all the passing was happening in turn one. He was going outside, I was inside, we flip-flopped, and it was just, it was probably one of the best races in iRacing. So. Can't complain about a second place, so it was great.
How well did he do hanging it around the outside in the last lap? I thought for sure he probably wasn't going to make it, and you probably did too.
Yeah, I just didn't want to hit him, so I was kind of more nervous looking over, making sure I wasn't going to slide into him. So I'm just glad we both made it through without touching each other.
Amazing stuff. And surely, are you gonna be around next week for the next one?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, before we let you go, if you'd like to give a shout out to your team, your sponsors, friends, family, whoever you'd like.
Yeah, shout out to my parents. I know they're at home watching. I'm on the stream on YouTube, so glad they got to watch me do that. I know I got some family in England that'll probably see this race tomorrow.
Ah, sweet. Whereabouts?
Basingstoke, England. Around
oh, nice.
London.
Yeah, nice.
And then of course my girlfriend, who's sitting on the couch next to me watching TV, not paying attention at all.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks very much for joining us in the commentary box, Reese, and we'll catch you in the next one. But congratulations on the 2 second places.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. And I believe Austin has found Max Esserson, race 2 winner.
Howdy, Max. Do you hear me?
Yep. You.
Oh, we're doing just fantastic. You kind of made me forget to breathe just a little bit from that action last race, but how's the win, man?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I didn't think we were going to be able to catch up to the lead pack there, but I guess the lap car slowed them down, so kind of got a second chance.
Yeah, that lap car was about a speed bump on a busy highway. It was just crazy how much it slowed all y'all, but hey, y'all formed a group, you made a hard charge, and you charged away up to the front after a very crazy start. Walk us through that start, by the way.
Yeah, it was kind of just a mess going into turn one, so I was kind of blocked on the inside, and we were super slow, so it's kind of 2 by 2. Then we lost the lead pack because some guys were battling. Then was just trying to keep moving ahead because I knew when I was out front I was moving pretty quickly and we could maybe catch them, but so it worked out in the end.
Well, it's a good finish for you. Absolute fantastic finish for you. Anyone you want to thank, shout out?
Just Team Pelfrey, Bell Helmets, MPI, Amity Search Partners, and Guardian Alarm.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time, and congrats on the win, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
And Andrew, I believe you're standing with Colin.
I will be in a second, yep. Okay, so Colin Mullen joins us in the commentary box. Colin, can you hear us?
Yes, got you loud and clear.
Nice one. Well, 20th on the grid, 3rd in the race. Take us through that, and more importantly, take us through turn 1 and 2, because you must have had an absolutely astonishing view of the carnage that unfolded.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, unfortunately, started 20th after race 1 didn't go as planned, but had a great time battling up the lead with those guys.
By the way, Frederick,
yeah.
Can we go on board with Colin for this? We're just watching, actually. We're just going to see exactly what happens. Take us through it.
Awesome. So, yeah, I can't see what you guys are seeing right now exactly, but yeah, Simon and I were discussing beforehand. Kind of, we were going to try to get a good jump on the field, and I saw the opportunity to go to the middle and take it 3 or 4 wide, I think, at the very beginning. And I just kind of kept my foot in it all the way through. Got to the inside in turn 1. And yeah, unfortunately for some of my race teammates, it didn't go quite as well, but it was just kind of like the seas opened up halfway through turn 1 and had clear track in front of me.
Yeah, you got a fantastic start. And they kind of checked up, didn't they? I think it looks like. And yeah, you went through the middle. and you just about cleared a car on the inside, and that allowed you to go as close to the inside as possible, really, and everything kind of got spat out to the left-hand side. We saw wheels flying everywhere. It was all a bit traumatic, I'm sure, for those guys involved in that. But after that, it was a case of catching the pack, and you look to have probably the best pace out there of anyone. And obviously, when you get to the front, it's quite tricky. There was that the one back marker, which was like when you see in a film when there's a car chase and it stops because there's a pane of glass being carried across the road. That's kind of what it was, where the lapped car was in the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Max and I were trying to work together and just try to make small gains throughout the race, and I didn't think we would get too close, but luckily we had that lap traffic kind of help bunch things up. And for the last 3 laps, it was on with a really good 5-car battle for the lead. But definitely trying to catch up to those guys was really tricky. We were trying to work, kind of go back and forth. Max and I maybe try to push each other on the straights, figure out what worked best. But we had some guys behind us who just wanted the position and thought otherwise. So it was a lot of fun working with them. And those last few laps were definitely intense. It was a good fight to the good fight.
Would you say that this circuit is, possibly, if you can call a circuit perfect for a car combination, you think this is kind of it for the Skip Barber? Do you think this is the ideal track?
I think it's definitely close. I think there's a lot of corners where it's definitely tricky to pass at, but if you can get your nose in a little bit, turn 1 is where you have to get it done. So if you can defend there, you can be set for the rest of the race. But yeah, the draft in these Skip Barber cars, especially on iRacing, is huge. So it keeps the pack nice and tight all the way through the race. So I think this is definitely a fun track for this car. All the corners, get a little mix of everything on such a tight circuit. But I'm looking forward to what other tracks we end up going to in the series and see what kind of works and what doesn't for the Skippy.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it too. We had an absolute blast. Just before we let you go, if you want to give a shout out to teams, sponsors, friends, family, whoever you like.
Sure thing. Well, last F1600 race I ran was back in 2018 with Rice Race Prep, and we had a pretty good weekend there, winning 2 out of the 3 races. So definitely shout out to Greg Rice. Thanks for coaxing us to get in this. It's been a lot of fun. So looking forward to doing some more of these in the future.
Nice one. Well, thanks very much, Colin, for joining us in the commentary box, and we'll see you hopefully next week.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Nice one. Well, Austin, that's about all we've got time for, I believe, tonight. But what a fantastic, what an awesome meeting we've had.
It definitely was. 2 incredible races. 2 times I forgot to breathe and almost passed out during the break. But amazing finishes, amazing racing, amazing starts. If I can line up this word, you probably heard me say it before, but it's been amazing. It truly has, honestly. I can't sum up this series as much. It's great to be commentating the opening round. I will not be here for the rest of the rounds, and the normal commentator with you would Sam Fitzpatrick be joining y'all for the rest of the season.
Oh, nice. Oh, cool. Well, it's been it's been a pleasure, mate. It's the first one we've done together, and we couldn't have wished for a better one, I think.
Well, definitely. This race is everything people wanted. Close racing, action, craziness, a little bit of the bubbly, and a whole lot of oh my goodness.
Well, hopefully there'll be a lot of bubbly being sprayed by the drivers tonight, or consumed at the very least. It was awesome. Great fun.
Well, thank you everybody for watching the FRP iRacing Challenge here at Lime Rock Park. I've been joined by Andrew Woodhouse. Frederick Nitzel has been in the broadcasting booth, giving us all these beautiful imagery, graphics, and everything, and slow motion replays at times for y'all. And I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.